all day. But it's just keep it in mind, a handful is enough.
Yes, a handful is enough. This is where I really like it comes in because I am a grazer. I know that if I keep a snack on me that, again, is kind of in my schedule or is safe for me, I won't be just standing at that table eating my mother-in-law's cookies all the time, which I shouldn't be. So keeping those snacks, I know the blood sugar thing is big. You know, you said you're a blood sugar person. If my blood sugar crashes, what's the thing I'm going for?
You're going to go whatever's close, and if that's your mother-in-law's snack table, that's what it is.
Oh, my God, it's so good.
But that's important to keep in mind that, I mean, if you're going to have a nice meal later on in the day, let's say at 5 o'clock there's going to be a big dinner served, you know, and it's lunchtime, you're thinking, yeah, I'm just going to skimp out and just have like half a sandwich at lunch, and then I'm not going to eat anything else closer to dinner. Yeah. That actually can work against you. Your blood sugar can drop, and then what ends up happening is that you get a little desperate, you're shaky, you're fatigued, and you're going to grab what's close. I mean, it could be that trail mix or the hummus and carrots is close, but it could be something else that's maybe not the best choice for you.
So you're saying I can't save up all my calories for something later in the day?
It's not a good idea. Everything in moderation. You can have your mother-in-law's cookies, but just make sure that you snack mindfully for the day.
So don't save 1,000 so I can
No, don't save 1,000.
All right, bummer. Okay, I won't do that. The next thing we want to talk about is that physical activity. Now, Carol and I both being a little biased towards the physical activity because that's what we do, but it is a really, really good idea. I always tell anyone I'm helping with physical activity or training or whatever it may be, stay on the same schedule that you're already on. Don't say, well, it's vacation, so I'm going to take a vacation from the physical activity as well. That's one of the biggest things. They dedicate the same amount of time. Even if you have to split it up because you're going to be at different family stuff, make sure you're still getting that physical activity in.
It's also a big thing that during the holidays, it could be that's when you have a big chunk of time off. You know, the season dates kick in, or you're trying to use up some PTO. It's also a good time to start physical activity. This time of year, the gyms aren't exactly busy. It's a good time to get in, sign up, get started on the physical activity program. Whether it's going to be warming up a little bit later this week, the sidewalks may be clear. It's a good time to go out and take that walk and start your exercise routine a little bit before the New Year's resolution.
Or make a new tradition, like we have up here. I make a new active tradition. I know some people like to ice skate, or they like to, the turkey trot. Thanksgiving's a little past, but maybe find a run, a snow run, or something like that. I know growing up we had a football game. We'd go home and it was outside football game. I know now we go curling. Yes, the curling like in the Olympics, but we get together as a family and we go to the Detroit Curling Club, and I know I'm going to get exercise that day. Like we try to plan some activity around family because we like seeing family.
Yeah, my family are not exercisers, but we try to just get up and do something, even if it's around the house, so we're not sitting the entire time, or we got the recliner out and the cookies right by us. We try to do at least a little bit of something. If something is better than nothing.
That's right. And that's where, even if I'm a traveler and I'm always moving around, I got to go to this person's house, that's where body weight exercise is, doing push-ups on the counter, doing stuff like that, playing with the kids that are going to be there, whether it be nieces and nephews, whether it be your own kids, whether it be grandkids, whatever it may be, chasing them around or doing all this different stuff. It doesn't have to be the vigorous activity that you're always into. It could be any activity, making sure you're getting steps, things like that. So,
one of the things that we did over this past holiday is we have a refrigerator downstairs in the basement, so we try to put a lot of foods and things, especially the cookies and things, downstairs. And then I think twice before I have to take several trips up and down to get a snack. But it's also, I'm mindful that it's good exercise for me. It's good to get up and down. It's good when I'm in the kitchen. I try to do as much prep work and assist as much as possible because it means I'm not sitting down.
And I know people are always counterintuitive with this. They're like, oh, well, you want me to exercise more? How am I going to have more energy from exercising? Well, most people will have that increased energy. They'll have that decreased fatigue of, I just sat all day because it's my vacation and I just wanted to watch TV or whatever it may be. We know that sitting all day actually increases fatigue, whereas getting up and moving and doing that activity actually can really help,
And we know that maybe some people have trouble with standing, or walking isn't the best thing. You can be active when you're seated. You can rotate your ankles. You can
Yeah.
do shoulder rolls. You can, stretch out your hands and stretch out your upper body. It's still movement. It still counts for something.
Yep. And it still gets the body moving. It still gets that anatomy and the physiology going of catecholamines, all that other stuff that's involved. Next thing we really want to talk about is sleep. This is important all year round. Sleep is an important thing. We need sleep in order to increase energy, mood, memory, all that good stuff. Our immune system doesn't work as well. John, who was on the first week, he handles a lot of our sleep hygiene and things like that. But even now, during the holidays, it's really important because you're now moving around, you're doing all these different things. You want to be happy and upbeat for the family and friends you're going to see. You want to make sure you get that sleep in. So what we want to do is we like to do polls. We want to do a little poll. How much sleep do you currently get on average? So I'm going to bring up a poll here for you guys. It's on average, how much sleep do you get per night? We're going to give you a second to answer that. Okay, give you about 5 more seconds. All right, looks pretty good. Looks like pretty much everyone's got it in. We're going to close the poll out, and I'm going to actually share those results with you. It looks like most people are doing pretty well. 6 to 7, 7 to 8. I was actually anticipating more on the 4 to 5 hours. I know I struggle sometimes with getting to sleep with things I like to do or the technology in my life or whatever it may be. Yes, I'm a video game player, but that's pretty good. 6 to 7, 7 to 8. Hopefully it helps you. Hopefully that's something that helps. So do you know how much you have to get, Carol?
I do.
How much do you get?
I actually get quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah, I'll get 8 to 9 hours a night, or else I'm not functional at all. I love my sleep. I don't let too much interfere with it.
So I know that if you come in and you're not so happy with me, it might be the sleep.
Well, I had a problem last week where I ate some tiramisu a little late in the day. And what's the one ingredient in tiramisu?
Yeah.
It got a little bit of espresso, and I was not asleep till 3:30 in the morning. It was bad.
So we'll go ahead and hide those results now, and we'll tell you most adults need about 7 to 9 hours.
Yeah.
So you're doing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't consider I don't know what that was. Can everyone still hear us? Sounds like we can. Sorry, we had a little technical difficulty with our phone there. But most adults need 7 to 9. I don't consider myself an adult. Hopefully I'm still getting 4 to 5.
Yeah.
But or maybe I need more than 9. But looks like most people are doing pretty well. Getting 7 to 8, 6 to 7. That's good. You want to keep that up during the holidays. I know it can be hard with kids wanting to get downstairs for that Christmas morning or whatever. There may be a day or two where you don't get as much sleep, but still trying to make that a point to keep that schedule there. Some ideas on how to do that, again, scheduling comes up. Scheduling, planning comes up with a lot of this: nutrition, sleep, exercise, all that stuff. But having that routine, I think, is one of the biggest things that John tells us, right?
Yeah. He wants you to set a bedtime, set a wake time. So that could be 9 o'clock, that could be 10:30 p.m., that could be midnight, but you try to set a time and stick to it for both sleeping and waking.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. I mean, you think about it, when we were kids, we probably had a routine. I know I did. Mom would say, hey, it's, time, we're going to brush teeth, we're going to take a bath, whatever it may be. Then we read a book, we only got one. That's a routine. We can still do that as adults. Whether it's us reading ourselves a book or whatever it may be, we want to be in that routine to make sure that we get that good sleep and our sleep habits stay the same. Exercising regularly could be a great way to keep in that routine. Doesn't mean we want you to exercise right before bed.
No, that's not a good idea.
For most people, that doesn't work very well. It gets them charged up. They don't want to fall asleep right away. So that can be something that can help you keep to your sleep routine, is making sure your exercise routine is there as well.
And you also want to be sure to avoid the heavy meals 2 to 3 hours before bed. So, if you're having your holiday dinner at 7 p.m., you don't want to be going to bed at 9 p.m. necessarily on that full stomach. And you want to be sure that you avoid alcohol close to bedtime.
Yeah. How come? Do you know why? I do.
Go ahead, Annette.
The alcohol, the lower sleep, all that stuff, the sleep and all that other, it can affect a hormone called leptin in your body, and leptin is one of those things that helps us feel more full. So when I don't have enough sleep, or I've had some alcohol or something like that, leptin can be decreased, and now I'm more hungry or anything like that. I might eat more, things like that. I may not sleep as well. That leptin is really important there. So if I'm not on my schedule, it gets thrown all off. It's part of that physiology of our body. Definitely an interesting thing there. We don't need to get too much into it. But so emotional health, again, if I'm not sleeping enough, this may be affected as well. I may not be as happy. I may not be able to seek out little things. My favorite thing on this slide here is seeking out the little pleasures. Finding those little things that I really love about the holidays, whether it's my wife's attitude towards the tree. I know she loves setting up the tree, so we have a day where we just do that. And it makes me feel good that she can do that. And seeking out those little pleasures. Another one is I love looking at the Santa Claus pictures gone wrong, I guess you could call it. The little kids who are just so distraught, who are sitting on Santa's lap, because I was one of them. My mom has pictures of that. Just finding those little things. Yes, everyone loves meeting with family and friends and all these things, but finding those other little things about this season that are fun and give you energy and cheer and you look forward to. Do you have anything like that, little pleasures, Carol?
I'm a big fan of holiday decorations. I wish they could stay up all year long. The music, I'll start listening to holiday music the 1st of November, and I won't stop till the 31st of January. Even though it's off the radio, I'll still continue to listen to music just because it makes me happy.
That's good. So another poll, what makes you guys happy? What's your favorite part of the holidays here? So I'm going to launch this poll, and you guys let us know. Obviously, the one that might make you happy might not be on here. We tried to kind of get most of them on here. I think I have a pretty good idea what people are going to pick, but you never know.
It is an anonymous poll, so don't worry.
It is. People are answering pretty well. We'll give you about five more seconds. All right. Looks like most people got a chance to answer, so we're going to close that out, and we'll share it with everyone. On the whole, like I knew, the majority of people spending time with family and friends, I like that too. I won't lie. Sometimes it's a little more stressful than it needs to be, but that is the main thing.
That's going back up to the first one. Don't sweat the small stuff.
Exactly.
That's going to take that little healthy walk, just to get out of the house. And
I know you said you love doing that, right?
Oh, yeah, even if it's only for a couple minutes. I just, love it. I don't want to say it now when it's like 23 degrees out, but I love to get a breath of fresh air and just, enjoy the snow, enjoy where I am, and try to be grateful for what I have.
Exactly. And often I come back from that grateful that I'm there. And that, because we are going to have those little scuffles with family, or you got to have that hard conversation of, hey, you can't have me for the whole break, or whatever it may be, like, especially those with kids or nieces and nephews, all that stuff. So it gets hard. The decorations, like you said, people pick the decorations. About 25% of people pick those. That's pretty cool.
Very good.
My favorite, I think, is the holiday food. And I got about 10% of people. So it's finding those little things. It's finding those things that you really enjoy about this, and then smiling about them, taking time to actually make sure you do them. If you really like Christmas music, make sure you listen to it. Don't let someone tell you that you shouldn't. Do it. That's the stuff that will keep the energy up, the positivity up, all that stuff. So we'll take those polls down. Thank you for participating in those. The diaphragmatic breathing, I want to touch on that real quick.
Go ahead.
That is something that I've tried to get better at because I know it does help me. I do like to do yoga a lot, and I've noticed that it helps me a little more, that if I am really worked up about something, whether it be work or home or whatever it may be, I take a minute and I stop. I breathe. I say, is it going to get any worse? Can it get any worse? I try to just focus on my breathing and know that the problem will still be there, but at least I've tried to calm myself down. I have to do that with family sometimes, or I will blow up at them. And I'm sure other people have that. So maybe taking a minute there to what helps me the most in this situation. So, again, filling with cheer and doing stuff. I think keeping optimistic. Hey, you made it through another year. That's great. And what is the new year going to bring? One of my favorite things is the year changes. So new things come up. I don't know what's going to happen in this new year, but it could be really fun. Could be the worst year of my life. I don't know. But I try to be optimistic about that changing of the year. And things are, I have a new thing that I can do or a new challenge I can tackle or whatever it may be.
And part of what you're talking about leads into the second bullet, which is about positive self-talk.
Yeah.
It's funny that I'm presenting on that bullet because I can be a Debbie Downer sometimes, but I have to remember it's not always about me, and sometimes my reactions can influence other people. So if I try to keep things in a positive light and remember to be positive about things and to not be too overly self-critical, that impacts others and it impacts my outlook on things.
Sure.
So I try to remember positive self-talk when I'm making decisions and learning from my mistakes.
Yep. The volunteer, I think this is a huge part, and it doesn't have to be the volunteer on a grand scale. I mean, it could be making that idea of, hey, it's that holiday time, I'm going to try to make someone's holiday a little bit better. Or maybe you hold the door more for some people. I don't know, whatever it is, but it's that idea that I'm going to spread this good feeling that I have with other people. And that comes back. And that's not the only reason you do it, but it does come back, and it helps to spread that positivity and that cheer with everyone that, hey, no matter what holiday we're celebrating or whatever it may be, we're all together. We're all happy at this time of year, so trying to spread that around. I think volunteering really helps with that, whether it be, adopting a family or giving what you can and whatever it may be. So.
And then don't forget to smile. Studies show that facial expressions have an impact on our mood, and smiling more elevates mood. Plus, you got a lot of people smiling around you. It's going to be awfully hard to keep the frown. I know, because Brett smiles and laughs all the time, so it's hard to be crabby when he's around.
It's kind of, I think you can find out why they gave me this webinar. So, but it is true. Smiling, it may not always be easy, like exercise. A lot of people tell me, oh, it's so hard to get to the gym and exercise and do that stuff. Sometimes it's just as hard to smile if I've been having a really bad day. But I do have a reminder on my phone every now and then that, every other day, or sometimes I just put it on my calendar at a random day, and it pops up as a reminder to tell me to smile or to tell me to think about something that is positive in my life. And it may be on a day that is awesome. Like, hey, I'm having a great day, I don't really need this reminder. But it has happened on the day before when it's like, yeah, I'm not really having the best day, and all of a sudden I get a reminder saying, you should smile. And it's like weird how that just worked out sometimes. So maybe that's a cool thing you do. Over the next couple weeks, you put random things in your calendar to remind you to smile or to talk to someone that you haven't talked to in a while or say something positive about yourself that may help you deal with some of the stress that comes with these holidays. So, some big take-home points here. Indulge in moderation. I guess that's kind of a oxymoron there, but indulge in things that make you happy. Make sure that you're staying healthy and happy, but then you're enjoying this time, because it is time to maybe go a little bit out of your normal routine or do things that you wouldn't normally do all the time. You really want to indulge in these things and have fun with them and make sure that the positivity is there and you're enjoying and you're remembering why you enjoy this time.
You also want to try to plan ahead as much as possible, so that's planning ahead before you go to a celebration or you have that party at your own house in a way that's healthiest for you. Making deliberate choices such as choosing to maintain your exercise schedule for that half an hour every day and choosing to not skip meals to save up for later.
Yeah, and that's a great, the being mindful is great, and that, deliberate choices, being mindful about planning that stuff, making sure that I know where I'm going to be on certain days and, who I'm going to be seeing, that helps. Being mindful, planning, that's really, really good. Take time at these busy days to actually rest. I know another one of my little simple pleasures is now that I live in this state again where all my family is, I can go home. Like, I can sleep in my own bed. I don't have to stay at someone else's house or stay at a hotel. Like, even though the hustle and bustle of getting to different family members and whatever it may be, I know that I'm going to go home and I'm going to have some of that comforts of my own home there. Or, I'm going to get to sleep in my bed, or I'm going to have that stuff that still kind of grounds me during this crazy time.
It's funny that you mentioned that because we're talking about sleep habits, and when you're sleeping at somebody else's house, you typically go through whatever they're, we stay up and watch holiday movies till 1 o'clock in the morning. I, for one, am not someone who does that. I still follow my sleep routine. It's like, it's 9:30, it's someone's bedtime, so I'll still do my regular habits, brush my teeth, do all that, go and read a couple chapters in the book, and no matter where I'm staying, hotel, someone's house, my own house, I don't deviate from that sleep habit because I want to be happy and rested that next day.
And it's so funny, brother, because we all have those. Like when my wife and I first got married, she was like, "Your family's weird. You all go to bed at the same time." Like everyone's like, "Hey, it's time for bed," and they don't do that in her family. So it is that thing. If you're staying somewhere else, you have to understand that your sleep hygiene may change. But if you don't want it to, follow your same routine. Be like, "No, this is what I do. This helps keep my energy up. I won't be a very nice person in the morning at your house if I don't get my sleep."
We've talked a lot about that in today's webinar about planning and making deliberate choices and being mindful of our own health and trying to make it as positive a holiday as possible.
Yep. Totally agree. So that rounds out our webinar series. We hope everyone has a great holiday. We do want to be able to answer questions if anyone has them. So if you do have any questions about tips of sleep habits or exercise I could do over the holidays or anything like that, please feel free to type those in. Did you have any questions about what we were doing?
No, I'm all good.
Okay.
Any final comments that you'd like to make?
What do you like to read before bed? Because what if you read something that's really scary before bed?
No, I just do fluff before I go
Like what? Like a magazine article or something?
Just some sort of work of fiction or even nonfiction actually helps me sleep a little bit better as long as it's not, true drama or something like that.
Okay.
I also do Scrabble or Trivia Pursuit before I go to bed.
Really?
Math problems, yeah.
Your brain doesn't get on like overload or something?
No, it's relaxing to me.
Interesting. So kind of maybe finding that thing that doesn't keep you thinking.
Right.
Because I found that I can't go to bed if I'm thinking. So if I lost in Scrabble to my wife, I'd be like, well, what if I would have played this letter instead of this letter or something like that, No,
it's just me versus the computer. I had read in a book once that was one of the things for sleep habits.
Okay.
That you just don't read anything that wires you too much. I'm not the best Scrabble player, so I don't mind losing. So it's okay.
I'm a little competitive, so. But, well, I think that's all the time we have today. So if anyone else has any quick questions, you can put them in. If not, we're going to then sign off and wish everyone a happy holiday.
Yeah, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great one. Bye-bye.